everyone, Sabrina from Campbell's Freedom Farm. Okay, so I have this fence row, and I guess it's about 20 foot, and I have over 25 to 30 peppers to put in. I'm not sure they'll all fit. So this fence here is where I usually put my tomatoes, but I alternate. So this year the peppers are going in, and since my peppers get really tall, I usually tie them. Now, I want to show you what I'm going to do. I'll give you a little updates as I work. So, under each plant, I'm going to sprinkle some Epsom salt, probably a teaspoon, as well as some tomato and vegetable. Now, this is better than the flower one. It's formulated different. So basically, it's a 12, 10 by 5. And this is Expert Gardener. Feeds up to 3 months. It says that, but by the time you water it so much, it goes away. So then I do a liquid feeder. Now, I had done compost here over the winter, and it's really nice soil. Even though it's so hot outside, underneath it is really moist. So what I'm going to plant today is a bunch of the little ones. Well, they're not little, but they're a foot tall compared to these. These are the ones that I started during the survival gardening, and basically they're humongous. And these are also large, but not the same. These are already producing. We've already been picking. So what I'm going to do is put the small ones in. If there's any room, I'm going to bury the pots on these. The reason being is I'll pull these, unless they're suffering, the container's too small, I'm going to bring them in for the winter because they're varieties that I want to keep and propagate and everything else. So let me start doing this, and I'll just keep updating you to see how it goes. All right, bye. Okay, I'm only going to make 20 in here, so I'll put the big ones that are older somewhere else. But I'm going to put them pretty closely together, and my theory is when I plant these, they're tropical. They don't like the super heat, so they'll grow tall and kind of shade their own roots, although I put mulch when it gets really hot and dry. So, all right, let me get started. Show you a teaspoon of the vegetable plant food and a teaspoon of the Epsom salt. The reason we're doing Epsom salt is tomatoes and peppers have a magnesium deficiency a lot of times, and that takes care of it. But Epsom salt was a mineral used for, oh my gosh, since I was a kid in the garden. It was before all the wonderful plant foods that you see. And then on top, I just add a little more compost. As you water, it goes down. So we're just going down. 3 in right now.
Hey, I have to show you guys something. While my mom's over working, Stefan and I are eating delicious blueberries. Look at these.
Halfway through, and woohoo, because it's starting to get dark. These are the smallest of the peppers, which is easier. And they're already blooming. I'm gonna leave the blooms on because it's getting later in the season. But the ground was so wet that you couldn't plant because I would have just rotted them. So they were okay in these. So teaspoon of Epsom salt, teaspoon of tomato plant food, a handful of compost, although this area was composted in the fall. The roots are really starting to stick on these. And right in the ground. So I'll show you the rest when I'm done. Right, we finished. I mean, they're really tight, but what I want to do with tomatoes and peppers and a lot of the crops, I put them close and then they grow up tall and I take off the bottom leaves. The reason being is I'm in the Midwest, we're humid, like we rot stuff. And so there's less pests and less disease from the ground. So these will go up, they'll go up a couple feet and they'll look great. All right, let me show you the next little planting project. Okay, this is my hops area. And I put a lot of beautiful flowers in here for pollinators. And so the hops is coming up, not as well as I thought, but because it rained and it didn't. So this is the hops. And what they do is they go up those poles. Well, you can see some here. But once they start going up, you have this area that you could put pumpkins or tomatoes. I have like an extra 20 tomatoes. I have like too many tomatoes, which is fine. So what I do is I grow it with the hops and it'll climb up with the hops. The hops is very strong. It could take it. Actually, it's the tomatoes I worry about because they really hang on to stuff. But I'm going to plant this really quickly and I'll show you a picture later on. Bye. I forgot one thing. Taylor was helping me clean up and she's like, where's the little fence? Can you see this little fence? It goes up, I guess, 2 feet. We have that groundhog that has been getting into everything. And the more of the mole traps that go in, you know, the sonic sound, gets really mad. So it's moving around a lot. But I don't want to lose these peppers. So what you do with this, you just put it in the ground. It's just a little barrier. Makes it a little harder for them to dig. A lot of times, I buy these at garage sales, and when you have small plants, it's great to protect it from the wildlife. It's not going to totally protect it, but it's better than nothing. And I also use it for my snow peas. So basically, the snow peas will climb between here and here, and also the green beans. So I have more fence when I go down there and I put those in. Anyway, I was just giving you an update on this fence. Bye.